Hey, it's Laura Marano here, and I'm at 17 and ready to tell some embarrassing stories with some emojis. So I was really strange when I was younger. I know what you're thinking. Even stranger than now? And the answer is yes, even stranger. So when I was a wee little one, I decided to write love letters to myself. It was okay. So I also watched Clueless, and she did it in the movie, and so I was like, I'm gonna be cool like Cher. So I wrote love letters to myself and pretended that someone was doing it. But unfortunately, and so I was like, oh man, who is my romantic mister? And so I just kept writing these love letters to myself. And the teachers kind of knew it was me because only really I wrote like myself. And so it kind of got out that I was writing love letters to myself. And let me tell you, those first grader kids were pretty brutal, as they should be, because I was writing love letters to myself. And so it was they were all like, huh? That's weird. Why are you doing that? You're 5. And I'm like, I don't know, because I'm strange. Oh, this is so embarrassing. And then I was this face. Really nice boy. It was at a school dance. I hadn't been kissed. I knew he hadn't been kissed either, and we were each other's date. We were dancing, and all our group of friends were around us, and they were kind of like, huh? And I did not want my first kiss to be in front of everyone at a school dance. So I was like, heck to the no. I could tell he was a little bit nervous. I was actually this emoji. I was a little bit like, got this. I took him upstairs, had a little cheeky kiss, but it was like a little bit of a peck. And so I was kind of like, yo, I was really abrasive. I was like, yo, you gotta give me more than that, okay? So then we kissed, and then we missed each other's lips. And so I was like, okay, let's try this one more time for the love of God. And then we kissed. I was playing basketball with a crush. We were talking about cars. We said something about the dashboard, and I started laughing. It wasn't a joke, but I was just like, ha, dashboard. I proceeded to forget what a dashboard was in a car. Or I said something really weird, and he was kind of like, you're actually not speaking English right now. And then I was a little bit like, aw man, I sounded so not smart or into cars. Now he'll never love me, and we never did date. This is like the perfect emoji to use. This one's a bit of an awkward story, so I'm excited about it. I'm at iHeartRadio Awards. Chris Martin is performing, and I didn't realize he was performing, so I'm like freaking out that he's there. I'm like, oh yeah, Chris Martin, I love you, you're awesome. I'm sitting at this table. Turns out he's literally sitting right next to my table. This doesn't turn out great, by the way. I just want to warn you guys ahead of time. I'm like freaking out. I really want a photo, and I really don't know what to do. And the guy sitting next to me is kind of like, I'm gonna help you out here. No, don't help me out. No, this is only gonna turn out bad. And spoiler alert, it did. But he was like, no, I got you. So he's like, hey, Chris, she's a really big fan. Would you mind taking a photo? And Chris was super sweet and super nice and was like, yes, of course. Chris is at a table where there's a bunch of kids at his table. His and Gwyneth's children visited Austin Alley, like a year and a half before, or 2 years before, and it was really cool. He wasn't there, but I met his kids for like a second, and they were really sweet. And I was like, I was very overwhelmed the day that they came because I had a huge wedding dress on. Anyway, so we're taking a photo, and he's all like super sweet and super nice. He's taking pictures with a fan, and so I'm kind of like, oh hey Chris, I just to let you know, your kids actually came to a taping of my show, and I gestured towards the kids at the table, and all of a sudden, Chris went from this to not as aggressive as this face, but kind of a little bit like this, and he was like, those aren't my kids. And I'm like, oh man, oh my God, I'm so sorry. There's kids at the table and you're talking to them, and they later went up with him to accept his award. So I mean, I guess like I should have been aware, but I wasn't. I'm so sorry. And so then we went from like almost being best friends and happy to each other to not. So, but I was really starstruck. I was filming a movie with Robert De Niro's in the movie, Christopher Walken, Uma Thurman. Pretty exciting. Like, I'm really into it. And I'm in Atlanta, and it's kind of like my first time filming by myself, and pretty excited. And my face just like completely breaks out, like all on my chin. I had like a little pimple that I like to call Fred that was living on my chin, and he was not leaving anytime soon. So it was a bit of a moment of like, I would literally just like come on set and I'd be like, "Hey Bob, how you doing? The weather, right? Pretty hot. I'm gonna go." Fred lived on my chin for a really long time that summer. But he's gone now, as you can see. So I really had a very sustained, embarrassing moment on that set. It was fantastic. This one's hilarious. I feel like with any embarrassing story, you kind of have to learn to laugh at yourself, because if you don't, and you're like this, or like this, then you're just gonna be like, you know, this, right? I would like kind of be on the road doing these one-offs, and I would like do my own hair and makeup. When in doubt, I'm really bad with my hair. So when in doubt doing my hair, I would just like curl it kind of loosely, and then I would add extensions because that just made everything look like amazing. So I do extensions, and I was pretty good most of the time. For the record, just want to put it on the table. So I'm performing at Mall of America. Pretty cool, very exciting. It's in Minnesota. And so I'm about to get on stage, and my music manager is like, "Hey, you should," I had my hair kind of like pulled back a little bit, and she was like, "Don't pull it back, like it looks better when it's the front." And so we were kind of, you know, running late as I usually do. So I'm like, okay, cool, I can do that. Cut to, I'm performing, and then I'm hanging on top of a dancer as he twirls me around. And in front of like thousands of people, my hair extension just falls out like into the crowd. And it looked like a raccoon was there. And so I'm like dying because I'm literally just performing. And there's no way that no one saw that, because I'm pretty sure like everyone saw that. Okay, so a crush that I had didn't actually have an Instagram. And so I didn't necessarily have that problem, but I definitely Instagram stalked him without him having an Instagram. So then I would like go, it was even worse. I like found like the people that he like hung with and found their photos and being like, "Oh, is there photos of him?" One of the worst social medias is like the Insta stories, because they can see if you see them. He was hanging out with a friend of his, and I looked up her Instagram, and she had a story. And I wasn't very well versed at this time in what I was like, maybe they can't see me if I watch the Insta story. So I'm like cheekily looking at her Insta story until I realized that they can see that I'm watching, and I like did not know her at all. Like we lived in different countries. So it was like very obvious that I did not know her. But she knew me and that I was watching, and so then she ended up telling him, and he was like, "That's strange, she's weird." So that was not really liking an Instagram photo, but I felt like it was the equivalent. I one time had a dream where I had a brother, and California collapsed onto South America. Don't worry about it, it's a dream. And so I was like, "Oh man, this is crazy. Like, what's gonna happen?" And then it transitioned to me and my mother, and we were like walking down a street. Danny DeVito or someone was there. It was an actor, and he slapped me, and then I blacked out, and I just ended up in the back of his car. And so he drove down my street, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm getting kidnapped by Danny DeVito. What am I gonna do?" And then it transitioned from there into an old school friend of mine's birthday at like a ball pin club. Oh, just wait, it gets better. There were cats inside like, you know, like cats like this, inside the ball pit. And they had a very terrible disease, but they were also masterminds. And so they were going to spread this disease to everyone at the birthday party, and only I knew about it, but I was in the back of Danny DeVito's car. So just imagine this, but like with braces. I'm taking my photo and I had breakouts, so that was fantastic. And so I want to look like this, but with like out the winky face, but you know, like cheeky smile. Oh, so attractive. I'm 8th grade and ready to hit the world. I wanted to look like this, but then my smile came out like more like, I guess this, but it was like a little bit open, so you could kind of still see my braces. And I was really annoyed and sad because that was not only like the photo for the yearbook, but that was the photo that was like everywhere because you graduate in 8th grade. So like that's the photo in 8th grade you really want to look really, out of all the photos in all grades, besides senior photo, you really want to look good. And it looked like pretty bad. I was just like, huh? And so I was performing at the US Open Arthur Ashe Kids Day, and I was hosting. So it was like a big kind of weekend for me. And I hadn't really been like sleeping too well, and I'd been pretty like, oh man, I'm stressed. I wake up like a few days before and I have like a pretty bad pimple on my chin. It was always on my chin. And so I was like, no, this is like terrible. What am I gonna do? Oh my God. And so I just kind of had to like live it out and have like caked on makeup on my face, and it was like pretty bad and embarrassing. And I still sometimes get moments like that, but I have to say they've been a little bit less. Just if you want to know any of my skincare techniques or reasons why I went from this to this, it's just kind of like I learned how to take care of my face when I was stressed. When I'm stressed and like not sleeping and worrying about taking over life and rocking performances and whatnot. And so now I have like a way better skincare routine. I have like this like amazing like acne-free skin cleanser that I use in the shower that makes me feel so fantastic. I have a little cheeky witch hazel acne-free toner that I use, so I don't have those embarrassing moments. And so now I'm like this when I remember that moment, but then I'm more like, haha, this, because that moment won't happen again. But bam. Thanks for watching my embarrassing emoji story. My single Me is out now. You guys can watch it on YouTube, on my YouTube. The music video is out. You can stream it, you can buy it. There's so many different ways to listen to it, so make sure you listen to it and watch the video, and make sure you also subscribe to 17's YouTube page.